Hey guys, welcome back. Yesterday on the joint conference call between myself and Pimpy, he announced he's going to be doing a like a tax show for foreign currency. He's going to have a professional tax representative that's skilled in doing taxes on foreign currency, and he's going to do that live show possibly within a week, something like that. Anyway, here's what the deal is. If you guys want to get your questions submitted for this, please email them to me and I will submit your questions to him. You can email me at iqdnews at gmail.com. Again, iqdnews at gmail.com. And I will compile a list of all your questions along with, your name so that the tax professional can go through your question and kind of announce your question. They'll announce your name, your question, and then you'll hear their response to it. So I'll do that for you guys. Again, please email me though at iqdnews at gmail.com for that show. Okay, guys, let's get into today's news. So the first one, it's by a legal expert, and they're talking about that they're going to announce the new prime minister within a period of 72 hours, and nobody will object to it. Okay, the new minister will be announced within 72 hours, indicating that the presidents of the public will present the candidate without any symptoms from the political bloc deputy. So that within a period of no more than 3 days, the candidate for the new prime minister will be announced. So there you guys go. Let's check out the next article. Media outlets from Soleimania Sela said did not receive the name of the candidate. They always put conflicting information out, so we don't care about every article in this case, guys. The president arrives at the Republic to complete the formation of the government. Calls for peaceful demonstrations to withdraw from the pretending arenas for a certain period of time. Sorting the so here's my opinion on the demonstrations, guys. Yes, they're going to continue. At least right now, they're not out of control and they're not tearing the place apart. Here right there in the news are telling you they're peaceful. Um, Here's the thing on that. Yes, the citizens are going to continue to perform and have demonstrations or act upon demonstrations until the rate changes. They have demands. As we went through the conference call last night, the government was only able to offer back roughly two items without having the rate change. The two items would have been giving them money and creating jobs for them. Okay? All their other demands, which was additional monies from Article 40, HCL, reforms, reconstruction, okay? All of those items, guys, are contained within that 2020 budget, which I've now shown you and kind of proven to you how the 2020 budget's married to the rate change. They can't implement any of those additional items, which are demonstrator demands, until that rate changes, guys. So, so here's the good thing about this. From a timing perspective, we know that more time is needed to finish setting the stage for the rate change. They've got to complete the 2020 budget and so forth. So yeah, more time's needed to finish setting the stage, but they can't wait too long because the demonstrators are going to be so far up their wazoo tearing the place apart that they can't wait 6 to 8 months. Okay, they can't. So the demonstrators know a little bit more time's needed to finish setting the stage to be able to bring forth all of these items to them. But again, they can't wait too long. So that's good having that lurking in the background for us. Other people bear the presidency of the republic a historical responsibility and not a recycling of the men of the failure parties. The parliamentary bloc Sarun carried out on Saturday, President of the Republic, a historic responsibility regarding the issuing of naming the Prime Minister. Iraq is going through a historical turning point in its political, social, security, and economic life, and after 2.5 months of demonstrations in 11 of its provinces with a revolutionary movement, unprecedented by the Iraqi youth who were jealous of his homeland and joined them as an entire homeland people with all of its components, elites, unions, competencies, unions, and associates Iraq had not seen in its recent histories. Let the conscience student protest movement in various Iraqi universities be qualitative in addition to the peaceful popular revolution calling for change and reform and increase the determination and resolve of demonstrators and protesters, and for the popular uprising to be broader and more incomparably inclusive. During the period, peaceful popular revolution, pure blood, presented in the words of the supreme authority offering on the altar of change and reform in a historical battle in which the weapon of uprising was their roaring voice calling for the restoration of their stolen homeland. There's a lot of information. Let me go through here, guys, real quick. I'm trying to see what this is about because it did talk about the government. So obviously, yes, they're wanting, this has to do with reforms. They're wanting radical reforms within the electrical system, or radical reforms within the electoral system in preparation for change in the area of corruption and failure. So that's what this article is about, guys. It's about electoral reforms. Okay? See, there's the next prime minister should be a product of popular movement, not a product of political movement. So that's just about the reforms and getting electoral reform in there. They have no consensus on a prime minister, but yet earlier they said they had one kind of ready to go. So, yeah, we're not concerned about that right now. So anyway, they're saying they had a fire at the headquarters of a government building in eastern Iraq. Okay, legal expert, the deadline for appointing a new prime minister is calculated from the date of the resignation, offer, and approval. The constitutional deadline of 15 days of appointing a prime minister, that's not over yet. Harb said that the deadline is counted from the date of the resignation. I believe the resignation, guys, was roughly on December 1st. Remember, we saw an earlier article that said within 3 days they were going to announce it. Blackheart informed us of our candidate for prime minister. And here they're talking about more of the prime minister. So, guys, a lot of the articles are just repeating themselves at this point. Let's go to... Let me see what this one says. Alright, let's go to some other news here. The IQD team. Alright, here they're talking about that the actual president may act as prime minister. He would have to if they have not appointed a prime minister within the 15-day period, then the president will act as the prime minister. Oil rises to a 3-month high. The political blocs agreed on the new election law, and the difference is only the mechanism of distribution of seats. That's basically the consensus. An American bank funds $900 million contract for the Ministry of Electricity. The legality of Parliament is about to end amending some articles of the election law, and wisdom is more likely to be passed on Monday. Al Raffadan explains the types of loans. So, guys, a lot of these articles are not real important right now. Here's an article. This is an older one on the 12th from the 2020 budget, which will be temporary appointments in ink. That's the one, guys, where I brought you 3 days ago now about the temporary budget that's going to cover from month to month. So anyway, guys, there's your daily news. Have yourself a great day, and God bless.